of course, is The Chain, one of the hit songs from Fleetwood Mac's smash album from 1977 called Rumours, one of the most popular records ever made. British music journalist Mark Blake took a long look at the band's entire catalog for his latest book, along with all the drama, relationships, and success that have come and become some of the hallmarks of the group.
It's called Dreams, The Many Lives of Fleetwood Mac. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let me address that video, because I must have seen that in my feed or something, where Stevie Nicks looks like she's staring daggers at Lindsey Buckingham, right? Was it always this tense, right, I'm writing songs about you, you're a jerk?
Yeah, pretty much so. Every show I've seen, they stare daggers at each other. So, yeah, I think that's standard practice.
I didn't realize how much of the success in that era, you said all of these songs, especially on that Rumours album, there was so much infighting and relationships that their best known songs all come from that conflict.
Yes, they do. They're songs about each other, about the love affairs and the love affairs that are breaking up. I think that's probably one of the reasons we're still listening to it now, because romance, sex and romance never goes out of fashion, does it really?
So did they stick with it because as artists they thrived on that conflict? You'd think that would just be exhausting. Or did they find ways to get along at times?
At times, yes, but I think that conflict's always been there. It's sort of the motor that drives them along. And every so often it blows up. It blew up and someone would leave, but then they'd come back again a few years later and carry on where they left off.
You also talk about there's very many incarnations of Fleetwood Mac, and it started just as a core British band until two Americans joined them, and that's when they took off. Is that right?
That's pretty much it. They were the most English band ever and the most masculine band ever. 5 guys in London in the late 60s, and then mid-70s they find Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. They got Christy McVie in. So it becomes a transatlantic band and a mix of male and female, and that's when the whole thing takes off.
And you say Christy McVie is kind of the unsung hero. Why?
I think so. She wrote the big hits, the really, really big hits. And this is something after she died a couple of years ago, Stevie Nicks very graciously pointed this out. Stevie Nicks is like the lead singer and she's the front person of the band, but Christine wrote the really big hits.
Wow. I think their songs have this timeless quality that maybe I didn't realize until all these years have passed. And I'm wondering if that's why a new generation is discovering it. And we saw this TV show, Daisy Jones and the Six, which was sort of about them. What was the band's reaction to Daisy Jones and the Six?
Well, Stevie Nicks is the one who's talked about it. She absolutely loved it. And she said she wished that Christine McVie was still alive so that she could recommend her to watch it as well. But it's, like you say, it's timeless songs. They don't sound dated. They don't sound like they're nearly, some of this stuff like it's nearly 50 years old, but it doesn't sound like it.
So you interviewed a lot of the, I think almost all of the members for this, even Christine McVie before she passed away. What did you learn that you didn't know?
I think the fact that I didn't realize till I'd spoken to all of them going back over sort of nearly 30 years now, just how much they put the band ahead of everything else, including their own relationships. Most people wouldn't work in a band with their ex-wife or ex-partner. And these people did, like for years. So I think it probably took its toll. I didn't realize how intense it was until you actually sit down and talk to them.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, back to how we kind of started the discussion between Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. What was the thing between them that they just couldn't make it work?
I don't know. I think it's kind of weird jealousy between them. I think it's, you know, Lindsey Buckingham is the brains of Fleetwood Mac. He was the musical director. But of course, Stevie Nicks became the most famous member of the band. She had a huge has a huge solo career. So I don't think that necessarily helped. But I just think it's very, very difficult being in the studio and on stage with your ex-partner year after year after year.
And Stevie Nicks had said that Fleetwood Mac is done now that Christy McVie passed away. Do you think that's the case?
I do think that's the case. I mean, I think they will continue individually to make music. Maybe there'll be a celebration of Fleetwood Mac somewhere with other musicians. I don't know. I don't think we've heard the last of it, but I would be very surprised if they went out and toured again now.
Yeah. The book is Dreams, The Many Lives of Fleetwood Mac, and you can follow Mark on the socials. Mark, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure. I love how that sounds.